Bill, is Cindy here?
I'm here. Do you guys see me?
Hi, Cindy. Yes,
Yeah.
we see
There you are.
Yeah.
Hi, Cindy.
Hi.
Athena has
Okay.
a kind of an Addams Family look going there. It's the background and all.
Really? Oh, yeah.
It's the COVID look.
The lighting from below, or it's. I think it's because the lighting is probably from the computer screen and lights you from below and gives you this sort of.
You don't
Wow.
like it? It's my new look.
Well, no, I didn't say I didn't like it. It just makes you,
Yeah.
how when you shine a flashlight up from below kind of look.
Okay, Mr. Chair, whenever you're ready.
Okay. So everybody's here that's, okay. So welcome to the Village of Mamaroneck Board of Architectural Review meeting. Let's see, lost my train of thought already. I think we've got the full board here, so we have a full quorum, so that should be fine. And I guess we should do a roll call. So I'll say your names, I guess, and you can say here, I guess. So Yvonne Levine.
Yes, Yvonne Levin.
Athena Marquis.
Present.
And Andrew Wallace.
Here.
And Cindy Lee.
I'm here.
And I guess that's it. Okay. If there's any interested parties or neighbors or anyone who has questions or comments or who wishes to participate, I'll try to remember at the end of each presentation to ask for your input. If I forget, though, please raise your hand and let the moderator, I guess that would be you, the village planner.
Yes, that's correct, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so let him know that you wish to participate and he'll bring you on. And other than that, I guess we can get going here. Start with the approval of the minutes for the June 18th, 2020 meeting. And for that one, Barbara, could you please remind us who needs to vote on that?
If I had them in front of me, sure, but I could find them in an email. I think I sent them to you today, in fact.
Yeah, I could look too. I was, as you know, I'm completely baffled by these minutes.
I think it was everyone but me that night.
No, on the June 18th?
June 18th was everyone but me, I think.
Oh,
I
thought
wasn't
you said-
here.
Oh, maybe it
I
was
wasn't
everyone
here.
but, it was everyone but Yvonne.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember because I had a procedure done. So yeah, I wasn't there. So
Well, so far, the only one there was me. Maybe-
That must have been a fun one.
No, it was everyone but Yvonne, and then the next meeting was everyone but Cindy.
Okay, so is everybody but Yvonne?
okay.
All right, on June 18th, Bill, Athena, and Cindy were here.
Oh, okay, me
Just
too.
the three of us.
Yvonne and Andy were not.
Okay.
Okay, so that means the
Okay.
three of us need to vote on that. So Yvonne and Cindy, do any of you, do you have any comments or questions? Or?
No, it was Athena and me.
Oh, okay, Athena and Cindy then. Sorry, do you have any questions or comments?
No, I mean, I'm fine. I move.
Okay. That sounded tentative, but okay. Athena?
We're referring, which ones are we referring to? The 18th or the
June 18th.
20th? June 18th. I was at that meeting.
Right.
Okay, yeah, no, it looks good. I was just reviewing them.
All right. Okay. Well, I guess that's already passes, but I'm okay. Well, anyway, all in favor, say aye.
Bye.
Aye. Okay. Opposed? All right. So that's good. That's done. Okay. And then the next one is it should be easier. That was August 20th, which was last meeting. So hopefully we remember who was there, which I think was everybody but Athena. Is that correct?
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So does anybody have any comments or questions from those minutes? Okay, there being no comments or questions, could somebody
No.
propose a motion to vote?
Let's see.
Anybody?
I moved. Oh,
Any second?
Sorry, I second it. Sorry, I put myself on mute a minute.
Okay, and anybody opposed? Okay, so those are approved then. Okay, now, Mr. Planner, I see on the agenda that you've put the discussion of the procedures and rules and so forth as the first item. I'm wondering if as a consideration to the other applicants.
Mr. Chair, that was done inadvertently. Usually I would put those last.
Yes,
So if
I
you
was
wanna
going
move
to,
on to new-
very good. I was going to suggest that we move on to the new business so that the applicants could get home that much sooner. And then we'll proceed on to
Right.
the discussion if fine with you. Okay. All right. So in that regard, then, can we proceed to the first item of new business, there being no old business? Well, I guess 1540 Raleigh Road a little bit bridges it since they were on the agenda last meeting, but weren't able to make it. But so 1540 Raleigh Road would be the first item. Are they here?
Yes, they're here. Please unmute yourself, Mike.
Oh, can you hear me?
We can?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I wasn't able to see you. Trying to get back to the picture there. Okay, great. So what we're looking to do,
Can you share pictures or your screen?
I'm on my phone. I won't be able to share the picture.
Okay, is there somebody else who has them handy who could share them so we can at least see what we're talking about?
Oh,
I guess I could, if that's easier.
I appreciate that. Thank you. What we're looking to do
Hang on. We need
Sure,
to
sure.
look at them. You know,
Okay.
we can't do this by verbal. If we can't work that out, we'll have to do it another time. But I think we should be able to get
Okay.
them here. Okay. Do you have them?
for me or
I was sharing them, but I don't know if they are sharing.
no, they're
I
not.
don't see
sharing.
them.
Hmm.
One more.
All right. Maybe I should have left it to Andrew.
if you'd like, I mean, I can show you, basically from my point of view.
Well, no, let's see.
What's the problem?
There they are.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Can you see them, Mike?
yes, I can.
Okay.
So, if you would like, what we can do is move forward to page A1.1.
All
Okay.
right.
So you can take a look. Obviously, what we have is the existing.
Which one is that?
A1.1 is continue on to the first floor plan, to the proposed.
Okay, so there's a site plan and then the first floor plan.
And that's the existing, but if we move on forward to A 1.1, there we are.
Okay,
So what we have is a new addition to the right side of the home, which will be a new kitchen addition. The existing one is small and not very usable, along with no dining room. And it's as their family is growing, we're looking to basically increase the home just slightly with a kitchen and a side entrance as well. So if we move forward to A 2.1, which is that one, you can take a look at the new addition that's on the right-hand side, the existing home as it stands in the center with the garage on the left. So what I was proposing to do is, it's a very simple addition. All the siding, the roofing, the trim is all matching existing. There's going to be a small covered entry for that the side addition, which will be held up by brackets and a bluestone stoop. And to tie that in a little bit further, the existing front door doesn't have a covered entrance. So therefore, I'm looking to have the same kind of a covered entry, but to make it more prominent with 2 columns as well, instead of the brackets. So as we continue around to A 2.2, and you see the side elevation, the right side elevation, it's going to be a cathedral ceiling inside. So that way it feels much loftier, much grander than the size that it is. So it's going to draw the people from the rest of the home into the kitchen where they want to be. And then as we go around to the next page, we see that the addition now is on the left side. A couple of, it's a French door going out into a small landing area, probably for a chair or two. And then the column will also hold up the overhang, which ties the front elevation to the rear. So it, again, just a small addition, but everything matches to complement the existing home.
okay. I'll go back to the site plan.
And thank you for doing that for me.
Okay. A couple of quick questions. The renderings, the colored drawings you have there, the house appears blue. In the pictures, it appears white. Are you refinishing the house, or is
No,
something?
the existing, the pictures show it as on the drawings that shows a darker blue, but no, the existing siding is going to continue on. It's a baby blue.
Okay. It looked white in the pictures, but it could have been a baby blue.
Yeah, the lighting was strong that day.
Okay, and it looks like there's a tree that's possibly in the way. I wonder what the plans were for the tree.
The tree, as of right now, that tree, we're going to try and prune it back. If we have to cut that down, we would replace it with another tree, of similar fashion on the site.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's quite close to the house as it is.
Which tree are you talking about there, Bill?
You know, yeah, what
You
is it?
can't see it on the plan. You have to look at the pictures.
The
'Cause
picture.
I'm looking at the street view right now, and that whole end of the house is really hidden by a grove of
Yes.
Right up next to the
Yeah.
house, right here, Andrew, there's a tree
Oh, I
very
see.
close to the house.
I see. It can't be that tall a tree though, because
No, it's not a big
No.
tree.
It's not very big at all.
It's maybe 20
Mm.
feet.
oh, okay.
Maybe not that much, maybe 15.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's still a junior tree. I mean,
It's
Yes.
a nice tree.
yeah, but that's small.
Yeah, it's a small tree.
I mean, you can buy a tree that big.
Yes.
Mm.
And it is very close to the house. I would want,
Yeah.
Okay, so I just wanted to ask about those two things, but
Absolutely.
I'll leave it then to anybody else who has any questions or comments.
Yeah, those columns on the front, Mike, they are wood? Even if,
No, they
or
are structural
are-
fiberglass. They'll be.
structural
square-
fiberglass?
Yes, square columns,
Okay,
The square.
and they will be painted
painted white.
white?
Yes.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
now that I look at that, I noticed that there are these two columns here. I thought this was the same, but this is different, huh? This is,
They're different.
yeah, this is just brackets.
That's just
Okay.
Yeah.
bracket.
There'll be brackets on the
Right.
entry to the addition to be more subservient to the front door.
Okay.
Understood.
Will the door be red also?
There's no talk so far as to change the existing door, but that remains to be seen. I would like to see, the door being changed to say something more natural.
Okay.
Yeah,
let's-
it looks like it's white going to be. I mean, if the
Right.
rendering or the facade is, accurate, it looks
Correct.
like it's the blue and white trim, and it looks like a new door anyway, correct?
It is
Yes, probably.
in the renderings and all, it is showing as a new door, but that's where I'll be talking with the owner to see if we either paint that or
Oh,
and more natural.
okay.
To
Tell you the truth, Mike, I was like focused on the addition and I hadn't really looked at the rest of the house so much, but could you just run through what exactly is changing besides the addition, the front door? I mean, are any of the windows,
there's
any other materials, what else is?
the
being-
windows to the left of the front door are going to change, but they're just to update to a newer window. The ones down now that are leaking. The windows to the right of the front door, between the two doors, those are new windows.
So new design.
Yes, that part is basically the triple windows between the two is the dining room.
Is there an existing elevation or just the new?
There is an existing elevation. Yes. If we go back to,
Yep, there it is. Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
So this window here is getting replaced with the
Well,
triple window.
Both are.
with a triple.
And
yes.
the door is getting beefed up, as you said.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah,
Even the window-
I'm sorry, I just didn't focus on the rest of the house. I just looked at the addition.
Even the window next to the door is going to change too, right?
Yeah,
That one does, that one
smaller.
changes to a powder room.
yeah. The upstairs ones look like they stayed the same.
They stayed.
Okay, and no changes to the other side. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other,
No? I'll make a motion.
well, we have to see if there's anybody in
Is
the
there any-
audience there.
Sorry about that.
Mr. Planner, anybody?
A second, please. 1 second.
I'm sorry.
If there's anybody from the public that wishes to speak, please raise your hand. Mr. Chair, it doesn't appear that anyone from the public wishes to speak.
Okay. And I believe we have people already motioned, so, yeah. And did you got who motioned, Barbara?
Andy?
Wallowitz, yes.
I
I'll
second.
second. Oh, okay.
Okay. And any opposed?
No.
All right. Then you're good to go, Mike. Thank you.
Thank you. Hope everyone has a good night.
You too.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Bye.
All right. Then the next item on the agenda is 1007 Oaks Lane.
No,
No.
you skipped 360 Mount Pleasant.
Right.
Oh, did I say it wrong? 360 Mount Pleasant. I'm sorry, you're right. 360 Mount Pleasant. Okay.
If anyone is here for 360 Mount Pleasant, please raise your hand. I don't see anyone. Well, never. Yeah, here they are.
Hmm.
Okay, 1 second.
They're not here?
Yeah, they are.
Can you hear me?
Oh, they are here. Okay.
Hi, I'm here, but I also have somebody who's supposed to be representing me here.
What's the name, please?
I'm sorry, give me 1 second here. Nick Contrada, is he not on the call?
I don't see anyone by that name. There's someone on the phone. Nope, nope, that's-
Is Terry Martin on the call as well?
yes, I'll bring them in.
Thank you.
Okay.
What street are we on now?
Terry, can you hear me?
Hey, Vinny.
Hey, Terry, where's our sign representative?
I know. I'm asking the same question. I'm about to send him an email.
Okay.
Would
So,
you
ladies
like
and
us to
gentlemen,
move
my
you to later?
name is Vincent Miata. I'm the owner of the business. We're Good Shepherd Distillery. We've been in business in the village now for 5 years. We are making some changes, and we used the whole COVID time period to kind of take some time off to make them. And we are ready to launch our business and coming to you today for some signage ideas. The representative from the sign company should have been on this call. Terry's reaching out to him.
Excuse me,
sorry,
is this Carly? Would you like us to move you back a little bit in the meeting to give you time to see if you could find him?
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. I know it says Carly. That's my wife's.
All
I'm
right.
using her computer. It's Vinny Miata.
I wasn't judging.
Yeah, so if you don't mind, maybe you guys can put us at the end of the agenda, and we will use the allotted time to find our representative, if that's all right.
Okay.
Sure.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, we'll postpone you till later in the meeting, and then we'll move on to 1007 Oaks Lane, just like I said before.
Right. That's what you wanted.
Yeah, except they're not ready. They're not being heard tonight.
They're not.
Oh.
They're not on at all tonight. Okay.
They are not. I can
All
tell
right.
you. Mr. Long?
Yes.
You didn't, I thought you were going to update the agenda by not including this.
No, he
But,
updated it by adding the
Right.
other thing.
Which
to it.
one is not on tonight? I'm sorry.
1007 Oaks Lane.
Oh, yeah, right. I meant to take that off the agenda. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
All right. So that's off. That brings it. So that's not a no-show, but a no. Not on the
Yeah.
agenda. Okay.
Yeah, they weren't ready to be placed on the
So,
agenda, Mr. Chair.
Right.
Okay. So 421 Beach Avenue. Then
Mhm.
are they here?
Yes. 1 second.
Hello again, everyone.
Hello?
Hey, Greg.
Oh, you again.
Bye.
I think this is 3 in a row, right?
Yeah.
Good for you.
And
Greg.
Susan Oakley is here too, right? I know she's muted at the moment, looks like, but,
I'm here.
oh, there you go. Hi, Susan. So if you want, I'll share the screen and put the drawings up.
Mhm. Thank you.
Good.
All right. Oh, I need help to be allowed to do that.
Oh,
William or whoever.
So he's the,
Thank you, sir.
okay.
All right, and share. And so let me actually pull up to the plot plan. This is on Beach Avenue, 421 Beach Avenue.
Hey, Greg, before you get fully started, let me just ask an overarching kind of question, which would help me a little bit. Do you have, in the submission, there were not an existing site plan or existing drawings of any sort, but it looks like there is this thing already there. So do you happen to have those drawings?
Yeah, I have, what we have is the plot plan from the prior one when Susan did the house renovation, which shows an existing 2-car garage in the back of the property, which is what I pulled up here. we will be getting an updated survey. I've spoken to both William and Dennis about that. But since we're going to comply with all the zoning setbacks, we have this, and this was based on a survey that was done by CNOR back in, 1984. But that's where the existing garage is, and it's not in very good condition. So Susan had planned to, and Susan, feel free to pipe in any time, but Susan had planned to renovate this garage at the time she did her house, and then that got put on hold for a time. And so now that's what we're doing. And this is to give her a carport, some garden storage, and an artist studio upstairs, which it's a nice daylight. So this is now where the new carport will go on the back, at the back of the property. This is her existing residence in the front. Keep switching over that, and that's Beach Avenue at the bottom of the page. We'll be redoing the driveway a little bit, putting some grass strips in between the pavers. But the building itself is going to be pretty much mirrored on same character and very similar details to the existing house. It is a carport structure, so we're not going to quite the same level of detail what's on the house, but we have the overhangs, similar roof shapes. This is the house, obviously. Some horizontal siding on below shingles, and then some tighter horizontal siding up above. Gutters and trim will match the color of the existing. It's kind of a nice little oasis that Susan has created back at the back of the house. But this is just another photo of the front, and then some of the neighboring houses we had in here too. Not this again. But anyway, this is the site plan, and the floor plans. Again, oops, be careful, so this so this is the lower level here with the carport, and there's some steps in the back up to the artist studio, and this is a garage storage area. I'll have a little garage door and just a big open space, with a little deck for inspiration, right? A sink in the bathroom or a toilet, powder room. And then the elevations, the colors, we use some different colors to try to represent the different materials, but the colors are all to match the existing. The brackets, the shingles up top, and then some horizontal siding, clapboard siding on the ends. And we're even kind of just framing the carport just so it looks more like a garage door. And then this would be, kind of a carriage style garage door, but an overhead door. Side view just kind of sits in there. We kind of just use the slope and dormer out to get access to this little deck out back. And I think I go this way. The other side, again, open where the carport is, and just a couple high windows. And similar there. So it's a simple, really just kind of simple little project, but just trying to, set it in the back there and make it part of the property.
I have a question, Greg. There's no door on the right?
That was what I was going to ask.
On the right side, over
Carport. The garage?
on this side here.
No, the front of the front.
Oh, the front.
The front.
garage.
There's one door.
Carport.
You mean to get up to the studio or to get
No,
into
the
it?
front doors. You show a really nice door on the left, but it's just open on the right. Is that way it's going to be, just open?
Yes, it's open because it's just a carport. So it would stay open, but we keep the same proportions and frame it out.
I see.
Similar.
Interesting. Okay.
And so if you want to go in, if you're a person,
Yep.
how do you go in?
Yeah.
She'll walk through the
the
garage and go up the stairs in the back. That way we keep the front. I mean, it might be more convenient to have the stair and the door in the front, but from the space above, it's just nicer to have it facing the yard and the garden. So we kept the stair kind of tucked around the backside here.
All right, looks like it's like Fayette Avenue.
Yeah, just like it, right?
Like what?
We try to adapt to the surroundings.
Can you slide up to the, can you go back to the ground floor plan a second? I'm just,
Sure. This one?
yeah, I just want to see that. So, oh, I see. So the stairs are not through the storage area, they're through the carport side.
Correct. I mean, this is probably going to be filled with stuff,
Yeah, I
lawnmowers,
understand.
lathe rakes, things like that. So,
You understand?
Okay.
I think it looks really pretty, really nice, but it is curious that there's not a door to match. I'm just wondering why there wouldn't be on the carport area.
well, we didn't want to keep it in closed space, and it needs to be open as a carport. So,
Right.
Was
Yeah,
that
it's
an
more like
FAR
carport.
issue or was it just a ventilation issue?
it's a
or-
zoning issue because
Pardon me?
it's not zoning floor area, so we had to work around that. So that's why we decided we could live with an open carport, and then utilize that floor area for a nice artist studio upstairs.
So
Okay.
it's open on the right side too.
Correct.
Can you go to that elevation again?
Yes, I can.
Just curious, it's just a curious thing.
I mean, there's a 6-foot side yard. Susan has a garden all along that side of the property anyway, so it'll get,
Oh, right. There you go.
Yeah. What was the reason again, Greg? I didn't get it. That you said
Zoning.
that you had to go to the carport solution
kept
versus.
it open for zoning, so it doesn't count towards the floor area.
Okay.
It doesn't count as,
You could, yes, okay.
So just so I'm getting what it looks like, it basically looks like a garage without garage doors, correct?
Yes.
Not without a side.
And
It's more
without
like a
side.
carport.
It looks like, yeah, right. I mean,
Looks,
It has a back, but that's all.
it looks
it does,
good.
it does have a back, and again, I think with the landscaping, the garden along the side,
Yeah,
it's just becomes a covered parking space, basically.
yeah.
well, it's a
exactly.
very nice looking carport, that's for certain.
And there'll be a fence around the sides to, there's also some fencing there already. So, some ways it keeps it airy. It keeps it, it's, you could get some snow drifting in, but for the most part, it actually keeps it a little drier. Sometimes garages can get a little damp, so it's kind of
That's
works out.
true.
Yeah, I think it's hurricane though, but is this new garage much taller than the existing structure?
No. It's not taller than the existing structure. Well, first of all, it's 20 feet to the mean of the roof. The existing structure, let me go back and see the photo.
I'm just thinking about neighbors' concepts of it.
Yeah, I can pull up, do I have that?
Well, I think you should show the garages that are back there now, because this is such an improvement. It's to what is there now.
It's a mixed bag. We had some overview, but it's not everybody has their garages all the way back.
Yeah.
Some, have them in the houses. I mean,
Yeah.
I just wanted to answer Bill's question on the height of the existing building.
Andrew's
Building
gonna-
height. This is, 2 stories, 34 feet to the ridge. So what are we?
Was 22.
Yeah, 20 and probably another, we are not as tall as the existing house.
Go back to that chart a second. Was that the house then?
That's the house,
Okay.
to the ridge though. So,
Yeah.
and it's kind of, so
Well, how
I
come
don't
it
know.
says, I'm confused because is this the old, must be the old submittal.
this is the old submittal. I just
All
brought
right.
this in for reference.
Yeah. Okay. I just figured out what you were showing there. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I just pointed out something, in the agenda, it's labeled as an R20 and it's an R5, just for the
Right.
record.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
You're good, Yvonne.
Wow.
Thank you.
All right.
It looks good to me. I
Yep.
think
Yeah,
it goes very well with the
And
the main
matches
house.
matches the
No.
existing house. It's not a
Yes, yeah.
radical departure from what's above.
And I can
The-
see all the landscape in the area and in the side also is very nice,
Yeah.
attractive. I mean, it's an improvement.
Yeah.
It
To
is
me.
an
I
improvement.
think the entrance is a little unusual, but that's
Yeah.
not an impact on the neighborhood. So that's up to you guys, I guess.
Yeah.
I think you've done a great job with continuity. I like it. I love how you come prepared and have all of your renderings and the neighbors' homes and whatnot. It's a very cohesive package and it's easy to follow. So I really,
Except for you didn't have the existing. Right?
the existing.
Just saying.
Well, I don't know if the existing garage plan is worth drawing and going
Yeah.
because it's in the building.
Could you go back to the site plan though a
I
sec?
did see the existing though, didn't I? I
The,
saw it.
the photos,
The
yes.
photo, right.
It's
No,
on the
no,
photo.
not, okay, that's the old one. Okay, and then, so if
There
you
is a
take this,
photo of it.
now go to the new one,
Yeah.
the new site plan, Greg.
Oh, the new site plan, okay.
Okay. So, all right, so dotted in is the old one, I guess. So
Yes.
there's,
Yeah.
so you're removing the asphalt. Okay, I see the note now. That's what I was wondering. You're removing the asphalt in front of the studio part.
And that's one of the other things we are doing. We're removing a lot of extra asphalt here. We're kind of straightening out the drive, just more defined parking area. And that leaves some more yard area to work with.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Greg, I have a question.
Appreciate it.
Greg, I have a question. It's, did you think about making the carport just more carport, like not trying to mimic as you look at the front elevation,
Yeah.
like not trying to mimic it as a door that's missing a door versus being much more open with just a column in the corner and.
You know, Bill, in a different house,
That's
different
Andrew.
style, I would do that. But because this is kind of a traditional arts and crafts feel to it, it just seemed more appropriate to, not have all this empty space. It felt balanced with the windows, and we've gone over this with Susan too a few times as well. So this is kind of what we all came around to, is
Right.
feeling most appropriate for the for the house and the property.
Okay.
Just for the record, Greg, that's Andrew there.
Oh, that was Andrew. Okay, Andrew, I'm sorry.
That's
I wasn't
okay.
watching.
He's the one with the
That's
bum, the bad hip. I'm the one with the bad back.
No, congratulations on that. I had mine done. I was out quickly, but not in one day. That was pretty good.
How'd you know that?
Well, because we can hear.
Oh, I see. Oh, that's not.
I don't know if it's a waiting room, whatever it is. Well, we're in purgatory here,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
We
one
better
down.
be careful what we say about y'all.
Yeah.
Well, I also
Okay.
like the terrace, balcony or whatever. I think a little terrace is quite inspiring.
Very nice.
And if it's an art studio, I mean, it's,
Good, good.
or whatever it is,
Video looks like fun.
it's
All right,
fine.
anyway. So are there any other questions or comments from the board?
No.
Okay,
No,
all right. So, Will, are there any participants who wish to
I'll
participate?
check. And Mr. Chair, just really quick, staff has one question.
Okay,
You mentioned that there was a fence, that would be, I guess, surrounding the property. Is that a part of the application? Is it a new fence? Is it existing?
These are existing fences, William.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. If there's anyone from the public that wishes to speak, please raise your hand. Mr. Chair, no one appears to wish to speak.
okay, thank you. Then may I get a motion to vote?
in motion.
I second.
Okay, I third then.
Unanimous. Oh,
Okay,
where's Athena?
anybody opposed?
Fourth.
Okay,
No.
all right, so you're approved then, and congratulations, and Enjoy.
Thank you all
Thank
and
you.
have a wonderful Labor Day.
Thank you.
You too.
Enjoy.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, bye.
Okay.
Bye.
All right, and that brings us back to 360 Mount Pleasant. Are they, did their sign guy come? We can see him, Cindy.
Oh yeah, he's here. Wait, an interloper, get out. Yes.
I'm
So,
being told my sign guy's on. I think he's still trying to figure something out.
So,
Oh, hey, Terry.
hey, hello, everyone.
Hi.
Vinny introduced ourselves earlier today. Vinny Miata, Terry Martin with Sound Shore Distillery. Apologize for all the inconveniences. We've been working with the New York Sign Company based in Port Chester. I think they do a lot of work for businesses in Mamaroneck. And for some reason, our guy has been trying to get in on his phone and hasn't been able to mute. He was screaming his head off earlier today. So I think he also just tried to FaceTime. That's not working. So I think Vinny and I are going to try to wing it on our own without Nick from the New York Sign Company. You may have met Vinny in months or years past, just Vinny, possibly. But would I be able to ask you guys, I think you have the documents, would you be able to pull them up
Yes.
for us? Thank you.
Should I do it again?
Am I going to do that?
Oh, Nick,
Nick's
I
here.
can do it, or you can do
I
it.
see Nick. I see Nick's name.
Let's see if Nick shows up there, then you can do it.
Do you guys see Nick's name at the bottom of the screen?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Let's see if he can do it.
Unmute, Nick.
Meanwhile, I'm going to find the email.
Okay.
Thank you.
Unmute. Okay, I just got it. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know what the heck is going on with this.
Do you have drawings?
Yes.
Okay.
We see them?
No, we just,
Maybe I'll share my screen.
well, it's better, if he can do it, he can point to things, so that's a little better, but we'll give him a minute. If not, we'll go with Andrews, move things along.
I think William would have to give me permission.
No, you have permission.
I don't see, all of a sudden, I don't see the ability to, 1 second. Oh, I see my problem. Sorry, so sorry. I have to,
Is that better?
no, we're not going to do it that way. We're not gonna- 1 second. Let me just share my screen and then. Okay, now let me go to 360 Mount Pleasant, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes.
and then down to there's some
Okay.
drawings, quite a few drawings, actually. That one being the first one.
Is that just the front?
So you can see that, can't you, Vinny?
We can see that. Yes, thank you.
So we're going to start there at page 1. Yeah?
Okay, you talk now.
Nick, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you see it, Nick?
Okay, so we have 2 new awnings, slightly bigger than the windows. They are above the 9-foot minimum clearance for the sidewalk. To the right of the 2 awnings, there's a blade sign which protrudes off the building, about 4.5 inches with a 30-inch circle. And then there's 2 graphics, one that goes on the garage door and one that's kind of like floating in between the garage door and the side entrance door. The sizing of the graphics are roughly 83 inches wide. If you go to one of the last drawings, drawing 6, graphic is 83 inches wide and 76 inches high.
Says I'm on page 8 already.
Should be 6 pages.
Well, let's see.
The first 2 are the
That would be
applications.
one
I
with the
think.
gentleman.
There you go. They're not in order. They're not in order. Okay, this one, yeah.
I think the first 2 are the,
No, but
First
the
with
thing
the
is,
party awning.
they're just not in or numbered order the way they show up. Okay. So this is page 6. This is the
This is
garage.
garage door,
Yeah.
roughly 83 inches wide, 76 inches high, and approximately 36 to 38 inches off the entrance or off the sidewalk in height.
So it's a tall garage door.
Yeah,
That'd be 106 inches. Be 9 foot, at least 9 foot garage door, more than that. Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
I'm curious, does that represent someone in the company?
Yeah, so this is Vinny again. So, like I said, we are a small distillery, been around for a while. This image kind of is a conglomerate of all the things that represent us. Initially, we were Good Shepherd Distillers, so you can see the dog in the middle. And then, you know, we're going for an industrial feel. We've changed our name to Soundshore, so you can see there's some nautical things in there. But this is just kind of like an image that our marketing team has come up with that kind of represents us and something we were hoping we can incorporate. Thank you.
I'm just curious though, is the person one of you?
No,
No.
Funny, it looks just like you.
that would be a COVID mustache.
I have a
True.
Okay, so
All right.
take me where you want to go next.
If you want to go down, scroll down, there's the basically a North Star decal that will go between the garage and the entrance door. It's approximately 120 inches wide and about 90 inches high, and it reaches up to the top of the building, just kind of giving it a little Art Deco kind of look.
Okay. So why don't we, Andrew, why don't we go up to the overall,
Right here.
yeah, why don't we use that as a basis to talk from maybe?
Okay.
Okay, and now you have there's the gooseneck lights you're adding as well?
Yeah, those will be shining down, illuminating the logo, which would be at the bottom of the awnings.
Okay. And what are those black trapezoidal looking things?
Here.
Yeah.
Those are additional lights, I believe. Is that correct, Terry?
Yeah, those are lights, guys.
Thank you, Vinny.
Okay, but they're not lights that shine on the signs. They're other lights.
Yeah, they're down lights. They're going to shine down the wall washing the between those two units.
Are those new or are they existing? They're proposed?
They'll be new.
They're new, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
The black box on the right-hand side by the door is a mailbox.
Okay. So we're looking at all of those things then, not just the signage then, I guess.
Correct.
Okay. Let me ask some general questions about the signs here. You're allowed, one sign. There seem to be quite a few. The awnings you maybe could get away with because they're awnings, and maybe the thing on the garage door you could get away with is, I don't know, art. I don't know, but then there's the blade sign, which is in the first instance projects out more than 18 inches, which is I think the maximum you're allowed to have a blade sign project. And then there is this North Star looking thing, which is and it's also higher, I think, than a sign is allowed to be. So it's higher and projects out further than a sign is allowed to be. And then you've got also that North Star thing, which is a good deal larger than permitted sign sizes. And so those are some specifics, but then looking at the overall elevation, you've got an awful lot going on. And it's across the street from an apartment building. I'm just off the top, my initial impression here is, that you got too much here. you know,
Bill,
and
can I speak to that for
I
a
don't know
second?
what other people think, but
Yeah.
pardon me?
If I could just speak to that for a second. So,
Okay.
like I said, you know, we've got a creative arm to our company now. Terry is actually the head of that TOC, and they put together these beautiful designs, and we recognize that we're across the street from a residential area. We've actually had 0 complaints in 5 years. We actually re-upped our special permit to be here because it's a C2 zone, and we're partially a manufacturer as well because we're actually making the spirits as well as having a tasting room in there. We've actually had, once again, 0 complaints. Last time we re-upped our permit, we've had people come in to actually praise us for staying quiet, and with our new permit, we actually have limited hours. So we're not going to be like a crazy late night bar.
I got, we're not.
No, I know. I'm just giving you a little background. So in terms of, I agree that there's a lot going on here. If I could just say that the things that mean the most to us would be those awnings and that sign that's popping out. The reason that's important is because we're on Stanley Avenue, and there's very little, like, you know, traffic other than the residential there. And a lot of times, you know, being in business 5 years, we've had people have trouble finding us. So that sign that's sticking out from our building is facing Mount Pleasant Avenue, which, as you know, is a much more prominent street. So it's important that we can gain some recognition for the people who are looking for us or walking or driving on Mount Pleasant. So if I had to say what about this actually means something to us, it would be those 2 things. Obviously, we would appreciate any other considerations for the other artwork on here, but those are the things that we believe are vital to us being recognized. So if there's any leniency or any way you guys could work with us for that protruding sign, that one we do think is pretty crucial to our business. Thank you.
I appreciate that. I was at this point just sort of making some observations. And the other observation I'd make is all the other awnings on the building are blue, and you're switching to black, which will give you some visibility. I think where you are, that doesn't particularly bother me. I'm kind of doing all the talking so far, but everybody else will chime in a moment. But my initial thought was that I got no problem with the awnings, and I would have suggested that you just have one nice sign kind of over the door there, you know, on that section, and maybe you could keep the art because they're painting murals and everything anyway, and I don't really have a problem with that, and lose the North Star thing. But just from what you're saying, I guess it could be the blade sign, but if it is the blade sign, it's got to be within the parameters, you know, that are required, which means that it can't stick out more than 18 inches. So I'd ask you, if you have to keep the blade sign at 18 inches, is that better for you than having a regular facade sign?
Yeah, Nick, maybe you could speak to this a bit.
I was reading the code, and it was hard to determine whether we could get a 30-inch sign. They mentioned 10 inches out from the building.
No, that's a raceway projection maximum.
Okay.
For a projecting sign, it's 18 inches from the plane of the wall.
Yeah, so we tried to keep it close by only coming out 4.5 inches.
No, but it's the 30-inch part. On top of that makes it 34 altogether, which has to be 18.
Yes, understood. If we made the actual circle a 24-inch circle, would that be acceptable?
No, it's 18 inches. It's 18 altogether is what you're allowed.
Including
if you really feel that's super duper important, you can go to zoning and get a zoning variance for it.
Right.
But we can't. We have to. You know, you got 18 inches on it. That's the sign ordinance.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's something we will have to discuss and see what they.
Yeah, because, you know, to that, I mean, that I hear what Vinny's saying, and I understand Ogden is not Mount Pleasant, and you want to have visibility, but I'm not sure if it's 18 inches if you've achieved your objective, and if you wouldn't prefer perhaps having a facade sign instead. But I just throw that out there for your consideration.
Yeah.
Hey, Bill, just so that we have some options here, would you guys be okay if that was our sign and it was the 18 inches and we were to get a little more creative on the placement, whether it's fully to the left of the furthest left awning, or if we were to somehow able to lower our awnings so that it could stay closer to the top, maybe in between the two awnings, and still be something you could see from the side road. I'm just
I would like to see if we can get it all the way to the left-hand side as you're
Well,
facing, you know, or towards Stanley. Because then
Again, I'm doing all the talking here, but I would
You-
say that we
Yeah.
appreciate the business here, the effort that you're making, and and all
Yeah.
of that, and the effort you're making to be creative, and we'd like to work with you. Again, I'm doing all the talking, but we'd have to look at it. We wouldn't be able to tell until you've put it in front of us.
Let me just say also something. I kind of agree with Bill in terms of that North Star. The rest, to me, looks pretty nice and pleasant,
Yeah.
and including the guy on the garage door.
No,
I
I
mean-
got no problem with the guy on the garage
Yes.
door. I can kind of write that off as kind of
Art,
decorative art
yeah.
or something,
Right.
not a sign.
Yeah, the North Star, I think it's too busy. And it kind of conflicts with that other logo, which you want to bring your attention to. So that's my comment. That door is a metal door, of course, and it's supposed to be painted gray. That's what it looks like, or I'm not sure. In
It's an-
terms of colors, I'm sorry?
it's an off-white right now.
Okay, because the canopies are blue, right? And the letters are white.
Correct.
Okay, and the lamps are going to be blue, dark blue, matching the awnings, or
Actually,
you don't know?
Lights are going to be black. So
Black?
only
Okay,
the awning is blue. Everything else is black and white.
it's
Yeah.
black. All the light fixtures are black. Okay,
Yeah, that's another question that just occurred to me. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry, Yvonne. I didn't mean to interrupt.
yeah. No, so again, I agree also with Bill in terms of that. I can see you're making an effort. There's some good design in it, and that we could, kind of work with you. But the code, it's kind of, you are going beyond what the code says in terms of projections and so forth. So
Yeah.
That was
There's another
my-
question. Let me ask us another question, just a question in general to understand it. What you're showing here is black on white. The building is not currently white colored, I don't believe. I think it's
It's more like a beige.
tan
Yeah.
colored.
Cream.
And
Yellowy.
between you and the corner, I believe there's like a cooking school or something, and then a barber shop. There's two other businesses.
Yeah, so I could talk to that. Yeah, so right next to us is a bake shop, which is essentially like a commercial kitchen for like caterers. Next to that, like you'd mentioned, on the corner is a barber shop. And then kind of around the corner, but part of the same building, is a small supermarket, like a bodega of some sort. And the current color of the building, like you said, is an off-white. We're pretty flexible. Our landlord, the owner, has seen these designs, and she's okay with everything we've shown her. But we don't want to change things too much. But we do want to go for a cleaner look.
Yeah, and I would say I don't know that I have an issue with that. I would ask you, if it sounds like you'll be coming back anyway, if the next time, if you could show how you make the transition from the tan colored building to the white colored building, so we could see that as well.
Before we come back, and then you guys, maybe just to get some insight from you, do you guys think it would be beneficial if there was some sort of wood or metallic frame there that kind of helped make that transition if we decided to paint it a
Probably.
slightly different?
I would think maybe.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to gauge your opinion.
What does everybody else think?
no, I'm sorry, I missed that. The transition where?
So if you look to the furthest
On the left?
furthest left of our rendering here, basically the true color of the building right now is an off-white, but with a little more of a yellow tint. if we wanted to paint it a little on the whiter side and we put some sort of panel there to almost frame it out, we were wondering if that was something that the board would think would be a little more aesthetically pleasing and would be interested in.
No,
Well,
I
it
think
looks
that
like it looks like there's a downspout on the left that you don't show in your elevation. That's like the one that's on the right next to the door. When I'm looking at the street view, there's a downspout.
You want to put up one? You have the picture there, Andrew? Could
Yeah,
you-
let's put
Well,
that up.
I'm on a different, I would have to, here, 1 second.
Okay.
let me go
Oh,
around
there
the
you
corner.
go. There
That's,
you go.
Yeah, you
That
have to
would
go
be
around the
better.
corner.
there you go.
Yeah,
Now make a hard right turn. Right.
there
No,
you
no,
go.
hold on, let me go down a little, I have to go down the street a little farther.
Go. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
that downspout on the left. Go back up a little.
So there's that downspout there, and then let me just
Right.
back up a little bit.
Right.
I have 2 computers running here, so I had it on my other
I,
screen.
That's
Yeah.
very good, Andrew.
There's-
I'm
there's the-
very
Whoa,
impressed.
whoa,
There.
there's-
Yeah, that
It's like
the
getting
one on
down
the
with a
left.
donkey.
there's the one on the left.
Yeah.
yeah, that one there.
So that isn't quite showing the elevation, so that would be the edge of the property, basically?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's pretty close. Yes.
So you
I
would
think
just
that could
start the
work.
white there.
yeah, better than introducing wood. I don't think you
Yeah, I
want
think you
wood.
just-
Well, I think what he's saying is rather than just you paint a line, it's this tan color on one side and it's the white color on the other, and there's just a line that you put a strip of some sort of
Right.
metal or something there that just,
But-
makes
But
a
the
transition.
But if you have the downspout, that could act as the.
Well,
that-
yeah,
that was
still at the top, you're
suggestion.
gonna have it white and then,
Or
Well-
you could do it right, I guess, right to the left of it, so it would match sort of this distance over here, as distance over
but you
here.
probably have to do it where his property begins.
Exactly, yes.
It's probably in between those 2 windows right there.
Yeah, yeah, somewhere in there.
Point.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would think putting a strip of metal painted the same color as the downspout would, something
Yes.
like that would make.
I
the
agree.
transition.
Agree. Yeah, metal, but metal. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe,
Okay.
yeah, kind of taking it up
aluminum.
all the way to the,
Existing building. So
parapet.
can you talk about that?
yes. That would look better.
Okay, so we've heard from a few of the members here. So just so we're understanding this right, we think the North Star is a little too loud, and I think we're okay with that. You guys are open to the idea of the protruding sign as long as it's within the 18-inch rule. You're open
Right.
to us moving it. You're obviously going to want to see another drawing, and we'll definitely provide that. And then you are, as of now, are okay with the idea of us going with a different shade and with us keeping that image on the garage door. Is that correct?
Sorry, I'm trying to find this again. Sorry, guys, I'm just trying
Yeah.
to find the
That's
drawings
I
again.
think you summed it
Yes.
up pretty well.
Yes,
Yeah,
Yes.
I think it's right there to the top left.
yes.
Yeah, I think that sounds
Oh,
about
here,
right.
sorry, here it is, you're right.
Now, we
For
didn't
me,
talk-
I think what happens, I agree, it's so crisp and clean with the blue awnings, and it just looks so nice, and then it gets a little hectic, and the North Star sign is just way too big. And from the first thing that I was struck by is that a lot of things, it seemed that things were out of proportion with the allowances that they can be. So clearly you're going to zoning and you'll take care of those issues.
Well, they're only going to, they're not, I think they're going to experiment with making the sign conforming.
Okay.
In here, right?
This one, right, the
Yeah.
blade.
Yeah.
Right,
And
right,
the
right.
North Star, right? The
Like
North
I had
Star.
mentioned before, we're more than flexible here. We're happy to lose this North Star. If you guys think it's too busy, we'll make the
Oh.
perpendicular sign within a regulation. We were really hoping not to go to the zoning board. So any feedback anyone has on the architectural board right now, that before we bring back another rendering, we would really appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, well, yeah, I think the main thing with regard to zoning is just that the signs conform to the zoning code.
Right.
Terry was referring to the 10.5 inches, which that refers to like a raceway type sign, or 10 and a quarter, whatever it is. But,
Okay.
This would be, I think this is called a projecting sign. And so that's what you need to confirm to a projecting sign.
Okay.
Okay, now we do, does anybody have any comments on the lights?
No.
No.
think they're
I
fine.
mean, I kind of liked, I actually like the North Star, but, you know, this is a visual impact that we don't have in Mamaroneck. That I really like the creativity of it. If I understand though that it's too big by rules, so,
Maybe a smaller one? Is that what you're suggesting?
I mean, what do people think about that? I mean, I don't know how to, I don't know how to get around the sign size on that.
I guess I think between the North Star sign, which is less visually appealing to me than the garage sign kind of thing, and and since we're pushing the edge about how much we got going on here anyway, you know,
Yeah.
I think that I would probably be inclined to lose that.
How would,
Or if you really love it, you could put it on one of the, you know, put it on the awning somehow, smaller. But you know, I would. Yeah, I think I think there's too much going on, and I am a little. I'm sure you'll be a great neighbor, but it's a lot going on, and it is a residential neighborhood across the street. So
Right.
I think it does have a lot of visual impact, but it is too big. How would you if that wasn't there? How would you sort of define the door?
I don't think we would do anything without that North Star. That's an existing door. That's a glass door.
Yep.
I think without that, it would just be the door.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
It does bring something over to that. This is the entrance to the place.
Well, actually, it's tough to see, but if you, there are two entrances. So these are actually two units. So theoretically, I think by rule of that, we probably could get away with two signs, right? Because we were originally the space furthest to the right, that's space E, and that's the door to the existing distillery that has a small tasting room. And we've taken over in the last year or so the space on the left, and it's tough to see the door, but it's under that right awning on the right side. That's actually the door that the public.
Push it, open up.
Yeah, I see the push bar. Yeah.
Yeah, so
right.
that's actually going to be the door that the public's using. So the awning, I think, represents the signage for our new tasting room. Once again, with the protruding sign. So let me ask you, while that came up, because we technically have two units here, does that allow us to have that additional North Star?
Not as two units, as two businesses. If you could somehow have tasting room and distillery or something, you know, maybe there's a way we could look at it.
This is Terry, and I appreciate the support for the sort of the creativity on the design and trying to do something that's very engaging. I'd like to go back with Vinny to the team and give him all this feedback, and we might be able to come back with a different, reflection of that North Star sign that maybe, again, tries to still create some visual interest, but, is less busy or a little quieter, a little bit more, subtle, if you will. In addition to addressing the other comments as well. So
we have had cases where there's been, two businesses in adjoining units in a similar fashion. If you know of, Ralph's Italian Ice, which is next to.
Sure. Yep.
Okay, and right next to it is that I forget what you call it, but the fruit bowl kind of.
They have the acai bowl place right next to it.
Right, exactly.
But those are two clearly different businesses that sort of share a space.
Right.
So that model, I don't know if that helps you, but if I'm just trying to keep you out of zoning, but if you got two signs, you got to go to zoning. If the signs aren't conforming, that you got to go to zoning. And right now, a 30-inch projecting sign and a 90-inch high North Star logo, is not conforming. So
understand.
By the way, Bill, what are you considering the mural?
I'm considering the mural a mural.
So we're considering the North Star. The North Star, the problem there is that it's got an insignia of the business.
Yes, it's a sign.
It's a sign.
the logo, yeah.
It's a logo.
I mean, maybe Andrew, I'm probably stretching it. But like you, I kind of admire the effort to be creative and do a little bit more. And, so I'm viewing that as an artistic treatment on the garage door. I don't know.
Bill, what if
The
I say
planner's
that?
on here. He can tell me if I'm stretching it too far, but that's how I'm looking at it.
Why don't we do this, Bill? Why don't we do this like Terry had said? We'll bring this back to our team with your feedback, which we appreciate, and we'll come up with 2, maybe 3 renderings. One, basically all the things you guys essentially said you were okay with, and then there'll be maybe a different variation of that North Star, and we'll show it to you with the measurements. And if you guys feel at that time that that's okay, then we can move forward. And if not, we'll fall back on the one that's conforming to everything you guys had mentioned today. Does that work?
Yeah, it works. Just the caveat is if it's not conforming, you can still go to zoning, who may approve it.
Appreciate it.
And that can happen. You can make a case that, if you want for visibility, you take 2 units and you've got a projecting sign and it sticks out a little bit much, and you want to be visible, and maybe they'll buy it. I can't speak for zoning. I'm just saying that you'd have to go to zoning.
Understood. Thank you, Bill.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, just one quick thing in terms of planning staff comment. If the applicant could address the illumination, it appears that there'll be those almost gooseneck-like lamps that'll be hanging over the awning that'll be illuminated. Is the
Right.
blade sign illuminated? And then there are the downlights that are illuminated.
Yes,
Correct.
yes.
How
On
does
all,
the board feel about that? In terms of illumination and the fact that there's a residential building directly across the street?
Well, they're all
That's a good point. I had not thought about it in the context of there being an apartment building across the street. I just thought about it in the abstract. So good question. What do people think?
I have an opinion. I think that the downlights are downlights. They are just going, going to be more an accent, I believe. And second, the lights above the awning, they are also shining on a very dark blue. So probably the white will reflect, hopefully from the logo. And the signage on the blade sign, it's going to be smaller, and it will be, I don't think it's going to be, to me, I don't think it's going to be something that is inappropriate, but that's my opinion.
And it's going to be going this way too.
It's going to be shooting out to the side.
Also, Andrew, if you don't mind, if you click on that street view again, there are actually existing lights on the building right now. You see there are some there. If you just go.
Sorry.
No good.
Go back down the building. Go back down Stanley.
Go right in front of the existing space, if please, Andrew, all the way. Yeah, see those lights there, those circular lights?
Yeah.
So there are some lights already there, just a heads up.
I actually think that those lights that light the sidewalk down low are probably good things from just a safety kind of a.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it
Also,
will
that
look good.
sidewalk is a mess.
Yeah.
Yep, they're
It
going
gives
to.
a nice effect, I think, those downlights. Again, my opinion.
wall washing lights, really nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else have any thoughts on the lights?
I'm good.
No.
Okay.
I have a comment about, how late are you open?
I believe our permit stipulates 10 p.m. on weekdays and 11 p.m. on weeknights. Weeknights being defined as Friday, Saturday, and maybe Sunday.
Weekends.
Yeah, weekends.
So would the lights be on all night?
Right now, there are times when we leave that light on because it is dark, and without it, people can't walk down the sidewalk. I've never heard of a complaint from the residents. I think it's more of a safety thing for,
Okay.
we haven't really talked about whether or not we'd leave them on overnight. I'm guessing we wouldn't.
Okay.
Terry, any thoughts there?
Nope.
The light that you leave on is the Good Shepherd sign?
The light that we leave on. The one of the furthest to the right is what we're leaving on. We do
Right.
leave it on sometimes, not every night.
Okay.
It really comes down to whether or not Artie, our head distiller and partner, is doing it.
remembers to turn it off.
How long have y'all been there now?
5 years. 5 years. Yep.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, it's hard to get parking over there sometimes, but you know that.
Yeah, they've gotten much stricter with the parking. Fortunately, there are hours where you can use the train station if it's past certain time. And you know, we're walking distance from Marinick Avenue, which is what we tell people as well.
Just out of curiosity, and it's an aside, but what do you distill?
We're making vodka, we're making single malt whiskey, and we make 2 kinds of brandy.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's our plan here? Our plan is they're gonna come back with some other renderings that are more.
Yeah, we're gonna get the awnings and sign, make sure that those are within standards, and potentially come back with some alternative takes on some of the other pieces as well.
Okay. Yeah,
Well, we'll see you again.
My feeling about it is I like all the creativity. But we're sort of boxed in, I guess, by some rules and regulations, right?
Yeah, well, I think beyond that, I think 2 things. I think everybody likes the creativity. I think that there's a question of at some point, is it too much? Is there too many different things going on? I mean, my view is that the North Star sign maybe gets to be a bit much with everything else going on. So, but you know, that gets to be an opinion and taste thing. But the rules are the rules. So that's cut and dry. And then we can all talk and vote about the taste things, you know.
Can we go back to a question I'd asked about the planting? That there was like some vines on the front elevation that were over the North Star and then over the other signs a little bit. And is that actual greenery that's from the roof that you're planting? Or was that painted on the building?
I think that was somewhat aspirational.
Aspirational in terms of, okay, I just want to know that.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I thought it.
Not a painting. I think it's just somebody's creative look. We may not do it at all. I don't.
They're growing their own grapes for the brandy there. And
we're going for the Ivy School look.
Okay.
I think that the hedge was
No,
kind
I mean,
of.
I think it looks. I mean, I thought it looked great, but I just was curious, you know, because.
Well, beyond that, I noticed those too, and beyond the if they look great or that I was wondering what actually held them up. But
do you have access to the roof
there? Kind of. We've been up there to clean some things, but other than that, we don't use that space at all.
Okay, so I mean, you weren't really planning to put a planter there, for example.
No, I mean,
Okay. So maybe you'll come back without that there, just so it's not distracting to.
Okay, sure.
To what's the actual drawing? Yeah. I mean, I liked it, but I just want to know if it's really part of it or not.
Right. That's a fair comment.
If nature takes us there one day.
Yeah. Go for it. Go for the planner. Say it. You got to attend it though.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody. We really appreciate your feedback, and we will come back with everything we spoke of today. Thank you again.
Okay.
Just really quick, one other item, Mr. Chair. Just want to ask if there's anyone from the public who wishes to speak.
Okay. Good point. Thank you. Appreciate that.
There appears to be an AB. AB, if you wish to speak, raise your hand.
AB is Arthur Bruno. He's Artie Bruno. He's actually one of our partners.
Oh, okay. Well, Mr. Chair, with that, there's no one who wishes to speak.
Okay. Well, then in that case, thank you, and we'll see you again.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay. And so I guess at this point, that concludes all of the new business, and we can move on to the administrative matters about the rules and the regulations that
Yeah. All right.
Daniel has put before us here as I spill papers all over the place here.
Yeah, so Mr. Chair, I think one thing that would assist the board is to for the board to create or draft some rules and procedures.
Well, you're echoing. I think, I don't know, maybe you got 2 microphones on or something?
the one.
You were
Oh,
fine
I know what's
before.
happening. Let me turn the,
I don't think it's me. I'm going to mute myself just to be sure.
You're okay, Andrew.
I'll mute myself as well.
It's not true. I think it's speaker on my end. Is that better?
Yeah, you
That's
sound
great.
good now.
That's good.
Is that better?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So I think it would be beneficial, as your staff, to help the board draft some rules of procedure, and in the rules of procedure to sort of indicate what items the board feels that it would need and would help the board make decisions as it relates to these type of applications when they come before you. So with that, I mean, this is the first time that I guess that I've actually had a chance to just have a conversation with you all. So I'll just, I guess it's an opportunity for us to get to know each other. Just really quick, just to give you a little background about me, because I think this is the first time we've ever really had a chance to really talk. I've been in the planning field for the past 20 years. Worked with City of Mount Vernon before coming here. Before that, I was there for 11 and a half years. I was the planner in the township in New Jersey for 2.5 years before that. Prior to that, I worked in the town of Islip in Long Island. And prior to that, I worked for Nassau County. So I've worked for county, a township, city, and now a village. So with that being the case, that's me. I'll turn it over and we'll go through the questions unless the board has anything else.
No, well, welcome. Nice to have you, and appreciate that. And sure, let's. How do you want to do it? Do you want to go through your questions from the
Yeah, we can just go through the questions one by one.
Okay.
So the first question is, what is your understanding of the board of the Board of Architectural Reviews process?
I'd kind of like to let other people talk. So I don't want to dominate here.
Take a crack at that.
Mhm.
So my understanding is that an application is submitted to the buildings department, and when that application has something to do with the landscape or exterior view, it needs to come in front of our board.
Can you see my
Barbara,
screen?
say again?
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Barbara then puts an agenda together of all the things that are applicable to our board. As I said, for an exterior or landscape type building change. We review the agenda. We get the materials in advance. We review the materials. We send in any application type questions in advance, like the ones we saw this week where things were missing or, there was more information needed to make a decision. And then at the meeting, we review each case by case, starting with the presentation of the material by the applicant. And then that applicant talks through it. We ask questions. We have to have I don't know how much detail you want me to go into, but overview, we go into, we look at it from a aesthetic point of view.
Right.
And we either approve or abstain or reject based on that. And that's sort of. Anyone else to add stuff? I don't know how detailed we want to be here.
Well, just the question I have for you. 1 second. Let's see. The question I have for you is, you said you review it from an aesthetic standpoint. Explain that. What is aesthetic? What specifically are you looking for when it comes to aesthetics?
To make sure that it matches the surrounding neighborhood
Or compliments.
or complements. Yep.
Yeah, or perhaps specifically does not
Conflict.
detrimentally impact the surrounding neighborhood.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I know what you're thinking. How many L's in detrimentally? You can fix the spelling later.
Yeah, it's all right.
We get the idea.
Anybody else?
Well,
No.
with signage, we have to make sure that the signs are conforming to the proper dimensions. For instance, the one we just saw wasn't, and it's interesting to me that often, I wonder if people don't really read the dimensions before they come before us.
So that would be one of my questions that I grapple with a bit with this committee is, whose responsibility is it to make sure that the application meets the requirements of the village code? I think we should get applications that clearly meet the code. And then we grapple with
The way it looks.
correct.
Yeah,
Also
yes.
get ones that don't meet the code. And in the case of a sign, that's easy. I mean, it's not easy, but we know the code
Right.
well and we get it enough. In other cases, I would assume that the buildings department, for example, is reviewing to make sure that any variances are needed, all the setbacks are met, all the little, all the little things are being met. In some cases, I think Bill is quite good at catching them. But I would say before Bill, who wasn't as detail oriented, not that our previous chairs were not good, they just weren't necessarily as detail oriented, certain things got missed. And I don't know that that's the board's responsibility as much as I think it should be the buildings department. So that's where it gets a little fuzzy.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that too. I think it should be, everything that we receive should be compliant with the code. And that by
And in
that,
theory,
I mean,
I was going to say, in theory, I think supposedly it is, but it's just the building inspector is looking at it, and there have been cases where he's missed things. There's sometimes we don't know, something doesn't look right, but it is okay.
Right.
And
Right.
and the one that just came up about the impervious lot coverage. I mean, I don't know
Right.
what the rules are or not. It just sort of,
Yeah.
even if you are allowed to pave your entire lot, it doesn't seem like you ought to. So it makes you wonder.
Yeah, exactly. Examples like that, we don't know. I don't know. And maybe there is a reason why, but I don't know. Again, we
Fair
should.
enough. In this exercise, I have some thoughts, but again, I just want to hear from you all, so I won't get into anything today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So
I mean, it's obviously the most sort of fluid portion of approval of a building or a sign, right? Which is, what do we think it looks like? So obviously someone can design a building that matches code, but then there's the question of the aesthetics, and it is somewhat ambiguous a little bit about how the decisions will be made.
Fair enough.
Right.
Next question, unless anyone else has anything else. Next question. This sort of got me when I first started working here, and I've worked with other architectural review boards or board of architectural review. Does your board issue a formal certificate of appropriateness, or is your board advisory?
well, it's somewhere in between, isn't it? I mean, and I'll address this one. assistant village attorney, as you saw, replied that certificates of appropriateness are only required for historical, whatever you call it, the historical designated buildings, of which there's like 7. And other than that, they're not required. And on the other hand, it's a bit more than advisory in that you can't get a building permit unless we approve it. So, you know, I guess we're somewhere in between, aren't we there?
Mhm.
Then the question becomes,
Yeah.
which way would you like to go?
Would we what?
Which would you, moving forward, would you want to become more formal or would you want to stay informal? Because I agree with you. What I see is somewhat in between. You know, I see you signing plans, and the plans that you're signing is basically the board issuing a certificate of appropriateness. However, you're not really getting an application. You're getting a, you know, it's coming from the building department and asked as a recommendation. So, any thoughts? No thoughts, or?
Mm.
All right, take your time.
So, I mean, there is an application for the building, right? And, but the building department is asking for our approval of the aesthetics of the property. Right?
Correct.
But there is an application for the property. It's just that we are not offering a certificate from the board. Is that what you're saying?
Well, it's a little bit more than the building department asking us for our view of it. I mean, it is written into the building code that
Yes.
we have to approve it.
No, I understand that. I didn't mean
Yeah.
it to be, I didn't mean to minimize it that way, but I'm just saying is, we're not offering, we're not providing a separate certificate.
I don't know, do you get certificates of appropriateness from zoning and planning and
You don't get them from zoning and planning or the Harbor Coastal, but other communities, when the Board of Architectural Review, they do issue certificate of appropriateness.
Mhm.
And typically what happens is there's a formal application that is specific to the Board of Architectural Review. The applicant fills it out, submits it to the board. The criteria that have to be met. The applicant meets the criteria. The applicant's placed on the agenda. The board is in a position to make a decision.
Mhm.
I've got nothing wrong with that, other than
Yeah.
adds more costs and stuff to the applicant, but.
Yeah.
I guess if I had one thing that perhaps bugs me a bit is as I mentioned to you, is, you know, sometimes you feel like you do these things and, you know, we've approved it and, you know, stuff gets built and you wonder if it actually even got looked at, or, so it might be nice to have a, you know, just from an enforcement perspective, it might be nice to have a full stop, like, here's a piece of paper that says, you know, this is what's approved. You know, might make it a little easier for the building inspector, who is honestly, you know, more and appropriately more focused on safety and, you know,
Structure, right.
and so forth than they are on, you know, than the issues that we have to a point. You know, so it might be actually helpful to them if they had a piece of paper that was a, you know, kind of full stop, this is what's approved, you know. But that's just a thought.
Fair enough. Next question. If
I have
the
a
board,
question about that though. So let's say they're doing their building, they're doing a renovation on a house, and there's some delay, and it turns out that you know, like some product that they were going to use is not available, or they make a slight change in the stone color or something like that. Would they be out of compliance then if we'd issued a certificate based on what they'd shown us, or would they have to come back?
It's a good
Would the
question.
building inspector be able to make their own judgment that still seems to be compliant, you know, that they changed, you know, I can tell you from my own property, which I'm not sure who on this board approved my garage. I can't remember. I think Cindy was on it. Maybe Athena was on it.
No, I wasn't. I don't think I was.
And I had said I was going to do it in this garage in vinyl siding. Well, basically because it's right next to Florence Park, and we'd had some eggs tossed at our house, and I didn't want to have eggs tossed at another hardy plank painted building. But in the end, I did switch it right back to hardy plank to match my house, and I didn't ask for another approval. I just matched it to my house. I didn't ask for another approval.
Well, you wonder how often that goes on, or how
The
often.
building inspector didn't, he said, that's fine. I mean, it looks just like your house.
That's a funny thing anyway, isn't it? Because I mean, we talk about matching it and they're painting the colors to match the house and so forth. On the other hand, if 5 years later you want to repaint your house and make it a different color, you don't need to go before the Board of Architectural Review to have to repaint your house a different color.
Yeah, that is a funny thing.
So, so there is, I guess, some judgment that happens here. I suppose if you painted it pink, that, and the neighbors thought that pink was inappropriate, that they may, complain in such a way that it would have to get some approvals done, but I'm not sure how that works.
Fair enough. Another question that goes along with that. Do you think, and you can tell me what you think because I don't know, but does your approval expire? Meaning that, if after 1 year somebody doesn't construct, they don't do what, whatever the board has agreed to or approved, does the approval then go away? Or does it last or does it stay in perpetuity?
Well, how does it work right now? If we approve it, then they get a building permit. I think it's the building permit that expires. Does that, and then if you need to get a new building permit, then you have to go back through the process, whether it be zoning or planning or Board of Architectural Review, right? Isn't that kind of the way it works?
Yes. So, okay, you have a situation, somebody comes to the Board of Architectural Review, the board approves it. 3 years go by before the applicant actually builds. Is the board okay with that? Does the board's approval still stand?
Yeah.
No, I think they're going to have to do a new building permit at that point, and I think it should go through the same process.
Okay, fair enough. All right.
Does everyone agree?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure how that works if you get all the approvals and you don't get a building permit. Barbara might know, I don't.
I mean, the thing is that particularly when it comes to what's adjoining the property, that might have changed.
That's true.
Right.
And
so
also
if you're thinking about matching to adjoining properties, then you should probably have to relook and reassess what's next to it.
And the bar members have probably changed at that point too, after 3 years.
Yeah. So they may not like it anymore.
Right.
Don't like it.
It's an unusual circumstance because most people, when they've gone through the trouble and expense to get, that far, are usually, more anxious than not to get a building permit.
Yeah.
Fair enough, but
Yeah.
it does happen.
Yeah.
I've seen it. That's why I raised the issue.
Yeah, I could imagine it could happen. Yeah.
I think if there's a delay, where the building permit really expires, then
That's building.
then it probably has to be redone, right?
Yeah.
I could see maybe some expedited, with not having to go through all the signage and everything again, but I don't know. If that's required for the building department, then that's what it is,
Yeah.
right? It is incentive to get the project done. Of course, sometimes you just can't do it, right? Things happen.
Sure. Owen, can you make a note that we have to review Andrew's garage door?
It's not the garage door, it's siding. My garage looks beautiful. I've had people in the park walk up to my house and say, "I love your garage." Who's your architect? Architect was sort of
Right. What's the next question? Are there any types of applications in which you were seeing, hearing that should have special submission materials or requirements, to help better inform your decision making?
Well, sure. I mean, we do get special submissions for signage, for example, and it would be nice to get special ones, I think, for solar panels. They're a different kind of a thing than, in addition. And they tend to come with like engineering packages, not like kind of where they are and what they look like.
Even with residential packages, some of them are just so much more cohesive than others. It's really great when they provide finishes and the neighboring homes. And I find that it doesn't always come with our package, and it's a little trickier to put it all together before we come together to meet.
Mhm.
Got it. Okay.
Now, remember that one that was just the homeowner had drawn it on graph paper?
What was I here for that one? I don't know. Sometimes it's frustrating.
Yeah.
And the fact that Mr. Town Planner, I wish that everybody would come and be able to share their screen. Why do they call on their phone when they know it's a formal board meeting? They should come prepared. It's a little infuriating, honestly.
Mhm.
We've done our homework and we're ready for them, so they should be respectful of our time.
Yeah.
The other thing, sort of related, but not exactly. One of my pet peeves is I'm fairly sure that a good number of people do not put up the sign that says,
oh yeah,
coming in front of the board. And so, not that I want to give us more work, but I do think that part of the submission should be a photograph of that sign. That may mean the sign needs to go up earlier. But ultimately, by walking around my neighborhood with the number of applications we see, I don't always see the sign. And as much as the public commentary adds a crap ton of time to our meetings, I think it's pretty critical. And I think it's getting missed by people who don't put up the signs.
Fair enough, but I
Well,
think
they do have to submit an affidavit.
that's correct. I think the other thing too that's happening, is according to the code, your sign requirement is 3 days, 3 days before the board meeting. And is that really ample time? Does that meet the intent of posting the sign? Which
I
is
thought it was 2 weeks.
Yeah, I thought it was 2 weeks.
it's 3 days, according to the code.
Well, I don't think that's the information that you get as an applicant. I think it says 2 weeks.
Yeah, when I did my pool, we thought it was 2 weeks.
It can't be 2 weeks because the submission deadline is 2 weeks.
I know, but I think you have to go, well, William, I think you're gonna have to ask Barbara or
Is
Betty?
Barbara still on the call?
I've always told people it's 5 days before the meeting.
See, she tells them 5 days, but the code says 3 days. So if somebody were to question her, she would have to fall on the code.
There's a package though that you get that says how far in advance. So I think we just have to look at that package.
Yeah, that's something that should be looked at then, and it ought to be longer, as Dina said, than that. It should be 2 weeks is what it should be. On the other hand, like the web plumbing people could probably take down the sign for the approval in like September of 2018 if they wanted.
What? I don't understand.
I think so. The next few questions, I think we kind of touched on submission materials that you're not receiving, submissions for a sign. What about any historic districts? Are there any historic districts, and are there any materials that you would want as a part of those type of applications?
There are only, I forget, like something like 4 houses or 7 or some very small number
Wow.
of historically designated properties in Mamaroneck. So they become, kind of a special case in and of themselves. And I think there are some special rules attaching to them, except for that since they never happen. Oh, I know what's happening now. I remember there are not special rules for it, but the village attorney, this has come to the attention of the board and the village attorney, and they're supposedly working on requirements for, historic properties, because I think it has arisen where things that are not something that would normally have to get approvals, because they're under the threshold or something have been done, and you know, it's kind of a, wait a minute, it's a historic. So I think that my understanding is that the village attorney is working on that.
Fair enough. I will follow up with her
Yeah.
to see what
Yeah,
what's going on with that.
It's the assistant village attorney. I forget her name.
Yeah, Christy Mason. Yeah, I will follow up with her
Yeah,
on
that's
that.
right.
So that's no issue. But
Mhm.
does it have any impact on your board's ability to make a decision?
Sure, it's true. I don't think we've ever had one.
I haven't ever seen one. I'm not even aware of the 4 properties that are.
There's the Skinny
historic.
House. The Skinny House was the most recent one, and it didn't come before us. It got had some zoning things.
What's the Skinny House? Which one is that?
It's the skinny one.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
It's over there near Carvel somewhere.
Yeah, some of those Melbourne houses, I think, are historical. Right?
Okay.
But there's
yeah.
only like 4 houses or something. There's very few.
Yeah. I think our friend even one.
Okay, so that goes. Are there any applications that staff could approve? That you'd be comfortable with having staff approve on your behalf? And I mean, these are things like fences, retaining walls, freestanding walls, anything like that.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I mean, fence. It sounds like fences. Yes, you know, if they meet code.
All right.
I don't know what everyone else thinks, but
Do all fences need to come before the board before they're put up?
No, none of them come before you,
Yeah.
unless they're pool
We don't get
related.
those anyway.
A
Unless it's
question.
pool-related.
So Barbara, if you don't mind, so why is it that fences don't come? Because according to the code, it says if it's construction over a certain amount, I think it's $10,000 or whatever, it would be required to come to the board. So what is it that's
In the 12 years I've been doing this, they just never have.
People build $9,000 fences. Then the next year they build another $9,000 fence.
okay? All right, all right.
I mean, it's an interesting question because we do review it and it does come up, I would say, at least 50% of the time when there's a public comment on a pool, the position and look of the fence is questioned and asked about. So it is a concern to the community.
Yeah. Yeah, fences would be a concern to the community. You would think they would come up, but my guess is that it's because they're not expensive enough.
Mhm.
And I mean, especially, you could put up a chain link fence and it's not expensive.
Okay, so let's take it another route. As opposed to a fence, what about like a skylight? You know, you're cutting a hole in the roof to build a skylight. You know, it could be that's a window. It could be rather expensive.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be over $10,000, I guess. I mean, that sounds more than a skylight.
Mhm.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm going to assume that the cutoff price is such that minor renovations to a building can be done without going to a board for approval, right?
Mhm.
I think it gets to be a little bit of a gray area too. If you're just replacing something, that doesn't count
Yeah.
either. Like if you just replace a window, for example. But that
Right.
means if you replace a double hung window with a casement window, that But
I mean, roofs
but
don't
again,
come in front of our board either. Unless
these
it's
are
part of
people's houses, and those things are unlikely to trigger going back to if it complements the surrounding neighborhood, is not detrimental. These things are unlikely to trigger that kind of thing anyway.
Yeah.
Enough. Okay. I got it. Let's see. Almost finished on the facade. Just really quick, anything that you would like to that we haven't addressed already as it relates to anyone who's making a facade change or making a change in fenestration that you would find helpful?
I didn't understand the question.
Well, the question essentially is, are there any submission materials for fenestration that you would find, that would help you, assist you in making your decisions? Are there any submission materials that like you're not receiving now that would help you make decisions as it relates to like facade changes?
Well, I think, to be honest, one of the biggest problems we have is not getting what we're supposed to get now.
Right. I agree.
Plan elevations, existing site plans, pictures. You get a mishmash.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen already. It's not like you always have everything you're supposed to get.
And the less you have, the more time we have to spend vetting it before we come to this point of the
Trying to
meeting.
guess what they're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, like the distillery really should just had a picture of the whole front of that building. Current picture.
I told them that I had to write to them 2 times in order for them to send me a picture of all 4 sides of the building.
They did send one later, Andrew. I don't know
Oh,
if
yeah?
you saw it. There were 3
Okay.
separate pictures.
Okay, well, I guess because I mean, was that in that what I opened up? Maybe not, maybe.
No, I think they came separately, and they came as 3 separate pictures, not as one thing.
I see.
Right.
Maybe I didn't go to the Dropbox. I happened to just quickly go to their address.
Yeah, they didn't get into Dropbox. They were sent to the just the email.
Okay.
So you could well have missed them. They were easy to miss.
Mhm.
Yeah, it came later. I think it's so interesting that right next door to them is the Community Counseling Center. And I didn't say a word about it, but if you have school-age children and you've been at Comics and Athena, you'll have this happen. They get into the acronym called RADAR, which is, Parents Against Drinking. That they're coming right out of that community center. And here's this establishment right next door to them.
Good.
But
Good shepherds.
the good
Good Shepherd.
right.
Well, that is not a BAR issue. That's somebody else's
I know.
problem.
It is not that's why I didn't bring it up, Bill.
Well, I brought up that they were across from an apartment building, but that's
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a true bar issue, but not a BAR issue.
Exactly.
You don't make a lot of jokes, Andrew. You save them up for the real zingers there.
Just a couple more questions and then we're done. And then I'll be able to take it and put something together and come back to you with it. Design guidelines. Are there any design guidelines that you think would help, provide applicants with submissions? Are there, again, going back to historic districts, that's typically where you find design guidelines. Are there any other areas within the village that warrant design guidelines?
Well,
Nothing? Now, what about the industrial area, for example?
Yeah, that if the industrial area, the overlay that they were trying to do had design guidelines. That kind of got stalled a bit. Yeah, that had design guidelines, I guess. And I mean, it seems like, kind of commercial districts, retail, more so than residentials. Residentials, I think, at least I feel mindful that these are people's houses and their properties, and you get a little uncomfortable telling them that their taste isn't good and that it's
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Have you experienced anything as it relates to people submitting an application and then they ask for adjournments and continue to ask for adjournments and then not showing up at all?
Well, yeah, the kickboxing guy, for example, but I mean, it doesn't bother us. It just, I guess Barbara has to keep putting it on the agenda and then telling us he's not coming. But other than that, I don't care.
Okay, fair enough. So that's the staff. All right. And what about, and I asked this question because it's a policy, it goes, you could argue that it goes beyond the board's purview to some degree, but it's still a policy question that some board, in other communities, some boards, follow the policy. Have you had any situations where people are delinquent in their taxes and they come to the board seeking improvements?
we wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Mhm.
Guess is the board comfortable with having a work session maybe 30 minutes before your actual board meeting? And that's only if it's necessary, if needed.
If needed, we'd be
Yeah, yeah,
comfortable with
Yeah,
it.
from time to time, every week, maybe not so much.
Gotcha. All right.
Mhm.
I mean, you know what we do, Will? We often interchange with one another via email. We do ask questions. We check in with Barbara. We talk to one another beforehand in that way, if we have questions or concerns.
Well, I would suggest that just moving forward, if you do, just I guess just send it to staff and let staff ask the question.
Yeah.
As opposed to you all kind of talking,
Yeah, these are more questions for Barbara along the lines of,
Right.
Gotcha. The last question.
We don't seem to have these drawings or,
Right. I mean, they're just simple things that we're talking about.
Gotcha. Fair enough.
they aren't of the nature of what do you think of this design? Yeah.
Gotcha. Fair enough. And is the board comfortable with starting at 7:30? Is that a good time? Should it be moved up? I don't know. I'm asking, I don't know.
7:30 works for me. I have young kids, and any earlier it gets dicey with me missing the ability to put them down before a sitter.
Okay.
I
Right
think
now,
it's
everybody's
fine.
working from home, but when people were working and often commuting, you don't want, it gets tight, I think, if it's earlier for people in that situation.
Fair enough. And I have one last question. Should communication between the various boards be improved? Between your board, the zoning board, Harbor Coastal, Planning Board.
What?
Yeah.
Can you give me an example of what would be the improvement? I mean, I'm on this board. I'm new to this board since the winter.
Well, I'll give you an example. So there was a situation, and I found out about this. The planning board approved a site plan. And they approved the site plan in conjunction with some, with some elevations. BAR approved looked at the same plans, approved the different elevations, and the boards were going back and forth. The applicant was confused about which one to construct. And I think in that situation, had the planning board asked the BAR for its recommendation, the boards would have been in a situation where you all would have been communicating and talking.
Well, that's an issue that you have frequently. I mean, I remember John Burney, who was for a while the head of the planning board, used to say one of the biggest troubles he had as chair is trying to get everybody to stay in their own lane, because everybody's supposed to be dealing with planning issues, and instead of dealing with planning issues, they're all concerned with architectural issues. They don't like it, or that kind of stuff, and it so you're going to get that. I mean, and then maybe what you're referring to is the famous 50 Shades of Grey one. That's what people called it, with the those townhouses on the Post Road, where that was actually the Harbor Coastal Zone Management Committee that decided it was in their jurisdiction because you could see it from the water, and that it needed to be a dark gray color, so it didn't stand out as much because they didn't like it. And, and so there, and in fact, you'll see that it is gray colored, and I don't know, maybe you like it gray or maybe you don't, but it's not clear that was their jurisdiction or that they had any. I mean, we all at least have some kind of design background, and they just didn't like it.
Fair enough. What do you think? Again, sort of the question, do you think that it would have made this situation a little better, if your board, the two boards were communicating? That's all.
Yeah.
Yes, I think so.
Fair enough.
I mean, I'm surprised to hear that an applicant would provide one set of drawings to the planning board and another set of drawings to the bar.
Well, that's not unusual, because
That's
you gotta
not
think
exactly
the
what
applicant's job is trying to get through the boards. So if your board tells them, listen, we want you to do X, they're just gonna say, okay, no problem, just to get through you. And then get to the next board says we want you to do Y, they're gonna say, okay, no problem, you know? Then it gets to the building department is looking and saying, wait a minute, the BAR approved one thing, another board approved something else, which way do we go?
I guess what I don't understand is how it gets through the building department that there's two separate plans, that it's not the same.
Well, ultimately, I don't think
From
it's
one
not.
step, that as it moves from one approval process, that it can change before it goes to another approval process. Right,
I don't think it
Yeah,
does
that-
get through. I think it comes to a head ultimately.
I see. Okay.
I can digress and tell you a funny story. Back in being a real estate developer, we were developing a golf course on the California coast called Spanish Bay at Pebble Beach. And you had to get coastal zone authority because you were on the coast, right on the coast on the water, and you had to get approval of the town. And the coastal people insisted that you had to have public access to the, I guess the town insisted you had to have public access to the beach, and the beach people didn't want the public coming on the beach because they wanted to preserve it. And there was no way to get the two together, and you could never get approval to build it. So I think ultimately the developer, which I guess I was part of, just started building it.
Uh-huh.
Fair enough. So
Fair
unless there's
enough. On that note.
unless there's anything else, that's it for my questions. Does the board have anything else that you want to offer or add?
No,
If not, I'll take this and I'll see what I can come up with, and I'll get it back to the board.
okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Okay, and Andrew, that was heroic of you to be here. It looks like you're
Oh.
maybe feeling a little like you need to go take some more pain medicine. But
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm totally good.
all right.
Can you see me? We're not, I'm still seeing the shared screen, so.
No, I can see you, yeah.
Oh, really? How come I can only see I can only see William's screen?
Oh, really? You don't
You
see
only
us?
you probably only see the active speaker.
Ah, yes.
I see everybody.
Oh, there we
Well,
go.
That's how you have it set.
Ah, and now.
I could only see, or maybe because I had minimized everyone else.
Yeah.
Just so, no, I'm
But
good.
we've been checking you out.
I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, you were rubbing your face there for a while, like you were feeling a little tired or something.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Just, anyway, I'm not,
Well, I
I'm
hope
good,
that
but I'm
it
good.
was heroic of you to be here. Thank you for making the effort.
My pleasure.
And if you have any recommendations for neurological,
Yeah, we could
Spine
talk about that
surgeons.
as another time. I don't, as a
Oh,
physician, I
poor
don't
Bill.
ask people their health questions on open.
you don't
forum.
think anybody else would be interested? You could
Yeah.
do it.
Well, they could be, but I'm just saying that's not what I do. I don't ask people questions about their health in front of other people. So it's a matter of practice, right? I can share my own, but
It's
I'm
actually a
not.
matter of law, isn't it?
The HIPAA laws,
Yes,
right?
yes, but I don't. Technically, it's not a matter of law because I don't have a duty to treat you. So in this case, I'm just a good Samaritan giving you advice. But particularly since it's not my specialty. So
Yeah.
there's no
Right. And
HIPAA
I-
with me
I-
asking you questions. But in general practice, though, I would stick to what is the what would be best practice and not ask you questions in the public.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. I obviously understand why that makes perfect sense.
But if you want to set up a private Zoom session, we can talk about it, sure,
Or even a phone call.
or a phone call. I know what you look
You
like.
don't, you don't even have to stare at each other while you discuss.
Right?
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah,
I think it's
you
fascinating.
can just tell me when you want to talk.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Bill, I hope you feel better. And
Yeah.
Andy, I hope you continue to progress.
Yes, I expect to be progressing rapidly. I'm really, really, really happy. I can't believe I walked so far today. I mean, in my house, but after getting a total hip replacement, I actually walked for 5 minutes with a cane without stopping. And I think tomorrow there's no more walker, and then the next couple of days I'll be outside.
Encouraging, right?
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
Jogging, playing soccer.
No. There's no, that's the kind of sport they do not recommend,
Yeah.
is both contact and that lateral movement, that really fast lateral movement stuff that,
Like the basketball, tennis.
yeah, that lends itself to, well, maybe tennis, I don't know, but
Tennis.
I do plan on skiing again.
Yeah. I'd like to
Biking
do
and
that
skiing,
too.
so I'm a really, really avid skier, so I do plan on skiing again.
We can talk about that too. I'm an avid
Okay.
skier as well.
Okay, good.
all right.
Okay.
All right, everybody.
William, thank you very much. Pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a good
Thank
night.
you.
Everybody have a
Good
good night.
night.
Thank you.
Happy
Bye-bye.
Labor Day too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.